Tanumo, or Nunchoni How or Dama, Chicheli Wekun, Yanutumo, or Solimojiake, Baonani, Aya, Baba Shushui. Amen.
Here are stories making headlines from the various regions of Ghana. The headmaster of Amfwenga Senior High School in the Northline district of the Volta region, Albert Kwesidodo, has expressed the institution's desire to return to the single-track system. He therefore appealed to government, private individuals and organizations to invest in the school's infrastructure, as well as residential facilities to support staff accommodation. He made the appeal during the celebration of the school's 60th anniversary.
Amfwesek is eager and ready to return to the single-track school system. This could, however, be achieved with the provision of the following three most needed facilities. 1, an 18-unit classroom block. 2, a 400-bed capacity dormitory for boys. And then 3, a 400-bed capacity dormitory for boys. I must state that reversing Amfwesek to a single-track school without the provision of these very important facilities will lead to a drastic reduction in students' enrollment.
Addressing the gathering, the Acting Deputy Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Smile Gavwajisi, reiterated government's commitment to supporting the infrastructure and developmental needs of the school.
I wish to make a solemn and sincere commitment today that on behalf of the minister, the government will do everything within its power to support and meet the infrastructure and development needs of Amfwenga Senior High School. We actually recognize that a school of this caliber with this proud legacy and this potential deserve facilities that match its ambitions. Furthermore, I'm pleased to announce to you today that the Ministry of Education will actively pursue and advocate for the upgrading and resultant reclassification of Amfwenga Senior High School to a Category B institution.
The Volta Regional Representative on the Council of State, Gabriel Kwamiga Atokletanku, who chaired the event, underscored the importance of collective responsibility in delivering quality education in the modern era.
60 years of existence represents a remarkable journey of vision, sacrifice, resilience, and achievement. Amfwenga Senior High School has contributed immensely to the development of our nation. Through many lives it has shaped. The theme of this anniversary challenges all of us. It reminds us that quality education in this century requires a collective effort.
In her keynote address, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Health and Allied Sciences, Professor Lydia Asiato, called for continuous professional development for teachers to equip them with modern teaching skills and encourage alumni to provide internship and mentorship opportunities for students.
I'm encouraging you, my future students, to study and be qualified. We train only health professionals, so from medicine to pharmacy to dentistry, nursing, midwifery, just name them, physiotherapy, all the health programs. But you have to do well. You have to do well. A cut-off aggregate 6, 7, 8. If you don't do well, cry 10. You'll get something to do. But when you don't do well, then it's difficult. So please, my future students, study and be qualified. Celebrating 60 years, the role of stakeholders in providing quality education in the 21st century. This team is apt.
For details of these stories and more, kindly log on to metrotvonline.com and follow us on all socials at Metro TV Ghana. My name is Gota Lois Achifu, and this is from the region.
Your Excellency, Madam Vice President, the Chairman and members of the Council of State here present, senior government officials, service commanders, our revered chiefs and traditional rulers, members of the clergy, we welcome our president back home. Our president has made us so proud as a country. And so, it calls for all of us to be here to welcome him. Mr. President, if we had not controlled the numbers, I believe you couldn't have stand it. Why are we here? Several years ago, our first president, Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, when he led the African liberation struggle, he made Ghana proud. We became the first African country, sub-Sahara, to gain independence. Several years down the line, when the entire African Union were looking for somebody courageous, bold, wise to lead the charge, they found no one but our president, President John Dramani Mahama. Mr. President, your forebearers in Deura Japa will be so proud of you because you are bold and courageous. Your late father, Honorable Ye Mahama, I believe, will be very, very proud of you. And Ghana as a whole, we are very proud of you for leading the charge to the United Nations to call for us entire world acknowledging that slavery is the most grievous crime against humanity, and to call for reparation, an assignment you executed excellently. Mr. President, on behalf of the government, on behalf of the presidency, and on behalf of the good people of Ghana, we welcome you home and we are so proud of you. Thank you for raising Ghana again. Thank you.
I will have only one message for the minority leader in Ghana. He should pay a friendly visit to the former president of Ghana, leader of his party, His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who has been a strong advocate for reparatory justice, a leading member of his own party. You should pay him a visit. There's an Easter weekend coming up. It will be nice for him to pay former President Nana Akufo-Addo a nice visit. He should go with an Easter gift, sit with him, and let former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo educate him on reparatory justice. I think it will do him a lot of good before his next pronouncement in Parliament. That's all I have to tell him.
1 minute, you are making substitution. When you've been a goal down for quite a long time, and when it was visible that the center was not holding because people were tired, and you had substitutes, you waited till the last minute. This is unpardonable. You only do that when you want to manage time and you are leading. When you are leading, you are winning. Then getting to the last minute, you manage time and use that to change and disorganize your opponents. So that by the time they get up, time is up and then you win. Me, I played football before. When you have a short striker in front, the first measure is the speed of that striker as against the defenders. Then you know how to spin the balls and which direction to spin the ball for that striker to go and pick. What happened yesterday? It's no coaching. I'm telling you. I know why I'm doing this. The money that KGL is spending and the money that some of us spend in football, we are very concerned about it. You saw our lone striker up front. One of the strikers, as you know, is our star now. playing in UK. But he's a utility player, so he goes back to win the ball, and he's to spin it. And the coaching will have to tell them where to spin the ball once he spins up to the other corner. So that it's not about height. When you are spinning it, it's not about height, because your striker is short. So it's to the other corner. And so he feeds there and he holds it for the one from the back to speed to the other end, and you cross over. Exactly. You don't just kick the ball up front. You spin it. You spin the ball because it's difficult to control a spinning ball. But when you kick it straight, it's easier to control it, just with a tap. So please, we know football. We played it before. So we mean business with this initiative.
Director of Procurement, what's your name?
My name is Frank Oliver Bodo.
Frank Oliver?
Bodo.
Bodo?
Yes, sir.
Sorry? Frank Oliver Bodo?
Yes, sir.
Which ministry or department do you work with now? Have you been transferred to?
I'm with the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources.
Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. I think you should be interdicted for how you carried out your function as Minister of Defense. We demand that. Or you are not responding to the issues reasonably. What is your relationship with Global Supply Network?
Mr. Chairman, I don't have any relationship.
Because you see, Mr. Chair, I am struggling to appreciate the fact that a ministry signs a supply and purchase agreement. You are not the ministry. You are not even the chief director. You are not the Minister of Defense. And you are telling the Committee of Parliament that the supplier was putting pressure on you by sending you text messages. So you see, this is how you people personalize public transactions. You personalize the transaction, so it became your personal burden. How many were the vehicles? In fact, if you can't tell us where the vehicles are, at least tell us how many they were.
Mr. Chairman, there were 6 vehicles.
Sorry?
6 vehicles, sir.
16.
6. 6. Yeah, 6.
And till date, Madam Chair, till date, we don't know where the vehicles are. So for me, my demand is that the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources should interdict this man. It should be interdicted.
1 minute. What kind of vehicles were you going to purchase for this?
They were Suzuki Grand Vitara vehicles.
Pardon?
Suzuki Grand Vitara vehicles.
So 6 of them for 4 point something million.
Suzuki Grand Vitara vehicles. 6 for pickups or?
No, they are SUVs.
SUVs?
Yes.
Oh, okay, the mini. For 4.8 million Ghana cedis.
Yes.
What's the unit price? Divide that by...
So, what was the price for one, please? I mean, once this infraction you've been cited for this infraction, you should come prepared with the documents. Don't you have copies of the purchase agreement? Don't you have the costs involved and everything? Because you knew we were going to speak to it. Yes, I'm waiting. What? Mr. Kodo, respectfully, can you let us know? Did you come with any documents, or it's all in your head? If it's in your head, can you share with us? Sir, we are waiting for you.
Respectful Chairman, I can't remember the figure of it.
You recall what happened in 2025. Incidentally, it was our best year of performance. At the same time, it was our worst year of existential troubles. Why should Kisi and a few officers of the Office of the Special Prosecutor be the ones always fighting existential battles just to keep this office running? Had it not been the good-naturedness of the president, the office would have been scrapped by the end of December 2025 in Parliament. Ask yourself, why? It is because politicians don't want us around. It is that simple. And why do they not want us around? Because we are bad news for politicians. And that is why civil society should keep it afloat. I am not known to be diplomatic. I speak what occurs to me. The attempt to scrap the Office of the Special Prosecutor last year is not dead. And this is a charge I'm giving to civil society. It is not dead. It is live. But we should not depend on the goodness of the president to say, withdraw it from Parliament. Rather, we should build this institution for the ages, an institution which stands the test of time. I was approached in respect of how to reform, and a lot of the talk I heard was revolving around me. And I told these well-meaning people that do not make proposals because of my nature. Some may see me as good, some may see me as evil. But do not turn legal provisions around my traits and characteristics. And the same way I'm saying, do not let this office's existence depend on the fact that the president wants it to operate, as we saw in December 2025. Secure it, bound it up, board it up well. And now we have a glorious opportunity with the Constitution review process. Let it be stamped in it. And we are gratified that the committee, the Constitution Review Committee, put such a proposal in it. Let it be well-founded in it. Let it be well-clad, so that the next special prosecutor will not spend so much of his time fighting for survival of the office, fighting for survival of his position.
Respectfully, sir, we are not joking here. This is a serious matter. You are questioning what the auditors have put in this report. And we are giving you the opportunity to explain yourself, and you are telling us that what? It is you cannot say yes or no. Someone who cannot say yes or no, respectfully, is lying. And that is why you cannot choose between yes or no. And you are under oath, remember. You have come to dispute the report the auditors have put in here. You are saying that the source received advice was not dated 12 October and that you have one that is dated December 10. The auditors are saying the vehicles were not there. You said something contrary to that the vehicles were brought. You saw them, you inspected, you signed for them, and later you asked the person to come and take the vehicle away because the person said they were afraid, the supplier said they were afraid you wouldn't pay. And so you went ahead on your own to extend the contract. Now we are asking you, are the vehicles here? And you are saying you cannot say yes or no.
So where is this? I was at the ministry March last year. I didn't see them.
So respectfully, should we take your minister to answer a question? that you are supposed to answer. You were the procurement manager. You respectfully, where is the supplier? And we want to see the extension of the contract to the 10th December stores receive advice against what you have said that the auditor cited and you say it's not true. We want to see all that. And respectfully, the supplier, I'm told, well, it's here, it's the Global Supply Network. Is that the name of the supplier? Supply Network. So, Minister, respectfully, what is the way forward on this particular infraction? But we'll be happy to have the 10th December SRA, and I know the auditors will also furnish us with the 12th of October that should be submitted under oath today. They'll furnish us with it, and then we can also come up with a recommendation. But Minister, moving forward, how is procurement of vehicles based on this issue that has come up? How do you go through the process to procure vehicles for a whole Ministry of Defense?
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
Good morning. Welcome to the show. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My name is Audu Moro. It is always a pleasure to come your way. It's a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday morning, and this is the day the Lord has made. Indeed, we're glad in it. I want to say a big thanks to the Almighty God for making it possible for us to join you here or to return here to join the nation's conversation on the big issues that are making the rounds in our dear country, Ghana. We also want to say once again a big thanks to our audience. We cherish, we value you, we acknowledge you, and we're so grateful that you make time every day to tune into the show from 7 a.m. to 9:55. We can't thank you enough. Well, as you do know, today is the 1st of April. Yes, it's the 1st of April, 2026. It's a new month, new blessings, and it's a prayer that God will fill your life with joy, your work with success, and your heart with peace. Happy new month, folks. Happy new month. Well, you know, April has been traditionally associated with this very popular cliche to say April Fools. Well, I hope nobody April Fools anybody. I always prefer April Wise instead of April Fool. That works better with me than April Fool. Anyway, because some of the April Fools have turned out to be very costly, very costly and very devastating, you know. And so let's be careful with the kinds of pranks that we intend to pull just because we're in the month of April. Let's be careful. Anyway, so once again, happy new month, 1st of April. Well, let's do it better. If you have something doing, just get it done because time is of essence. Time waits for no man. Let me go straight ahead and look at what the papers are reporting this morning, and I'll start with the Daily Graphic. It says that search for World Cup fixer. Ex-Morocco coach leads race. That's at the front of today's Daily Graphic. There's also President Mahama assents to 5 new bills. PAC, no rice lost under government's program. Deputy Agric Minister assures. PURC provides incentive for EV charging point expansion. Daily Guide says that Dr. Brown picks 2 prestigious awards. The anti-LGBTQ bill not priority, according to Mahama. No payments made for maize. Deputy Minister confirms that PAC. There's ex-defense procurement director hot over 4.8 million cedis deal. There's also retract and apologize, so I sue Dame to Felix Ofosu-Kwakye. The Inside this morning says Minerals Commission and the FAR over alleged lapses in Bogoso Prestia lease oversight. PAC hearing, no rise disappeared under government program, says John Dumelo. And as 90% of Africa's mining workers are casual, a continental strategy to keep mine workers disposable and unions weak, according to Kwesi Pratt Jr. There's Ghana's cocoa needs value addition to enhance economic transformation, says Chifa General Secretary. And then there's from aspiring driver to lawyer, the inspiring journey of Elikem Kweku Ahiale. This report uncovers Italy's role in Israel's genocide in Gaza. And there's also Africa must reduce reliance on foreign aid, according to Ododo Dio NP. The Herald says Mohammed's directive fuels speculation over Rhodes Minister's future. Months after fourth estate hatchet job against NSA boss. Government accused of withholding key details in 68.7 billion cedis audit scandal. Outrage in Bondi as Heath Goldfields fall short on $500 million promise. Godfrey Dami threatens Ofosu-Kwakye with lawsuits. That's on the front page of today's Herald newspaper. And then you also have the Ghanaian publisher that says Kwame Atople slams Yoko over unlawful probe. Dami issues 7-day ultimatum to Kwakye Ofosu. There's LGBTQ+, not part of government's priorities, according to Mahama. Akufo-Addo lead ECOWAS election mission to Benin. Accra Times, Bagbin tells Democracy Cup, or Bagbin actually tells the Democracy Cup, says event has evolved into national platform. Ayaga salutes Parliament for passing important bills. There's a Unimag, so jams inspire students with mentorship training session. NPA intensifies Stay Back, Stay Safe campaign to address fuel siphoning. Unimac students undergo modern media practices. The Safoko drives unity at Kwejun Pianist mother's funeral. The custodian says Jerry Ahmed cut sword for emergency block at Akawi Hospital. Kwame Atople accuses Yoko boss of unethical conduct. NDC panics over 73 billion cedis big push contract as Mahama asks for fourth estate. Report on sole source road contracts. Government storms domestic market to borrow 15.2 billion cedis in 3 months. Prudential Bank ladies celebrate IWD with a candid talk on love, life and livelihood. Daily Post says the sacking of Otuado was in Ghana's best interest. Kate Okreku, there's MPA on the move, contributes 1 million cedis to the Ghana Medical Trust Fund to save lives. The signs MOU with 24 Economy Authority to power Ghana's economic transformation. There are other newspapers that I would want to look at. So if you look at the Ken Crunch's papers. Okay, so let me just do this briefly. So Metro Lens says that NPA goes 24/7. There's journalists against LGBTQ+ fight President Mahama over LGBTQ issues, not Ghana's most urgent concern, according to concerning comment. There's Berima Sapong of Ifija, now a lawyer. Ashaman Tulaku in ashes. Fire destroys wooden structures. As Daily Searchlight says, Godfrey Dame confronts Felix Kwakye Ofosu over alleged galamsey claims. There's LGBTQ in Team Fojo lashes Mahama and NDC as hypocrites. And then there's also the KJTR market is in serious risk of collapse. Traders sound alarm. The Supreme Court sets 21st April to weigh in on Wesley Girls High School religious policy case. Sorry about that. The new crusading guide says the PAC hearing, no rise disappeared in the government program. Dumelo insists that Godfrey Dame goes after Kwakye Ofosu over galamsey claims, demands retraction and apology. Kwewu Pepiase chieftaincy tussle moves to High Court as one party files application to enforce Judicial Committee of National House of Chiefs ruling. Ochihene and Etreso Hene accused of breaching Chieftaincy Act 759 and for entertaining a convicted chief. Chief's youth bemoan delay in Ahafo in Kasem. Kasem Cooperative Mining Project, and there's doubts over Heath Goldfield's $135 million funding drive company's capacity to manage mine questioned. There's also the informer that says the Ferrates extradition rests with us, according to Mahama. Council of State Vice Member over use of his official letterhead in fraud denial. CEOs defy Mahama directive on use of soldiers as bodyguard. Ghanaians demand accountability over 18 impounded transit tracks. Ejabing urges CEOs to safeguard OSP. Well, he says that the OSP would have been history, but for the intervention of the president. That's interesting. What government's 15.2 billion cedis borrowing means, that's on the front page of today's Informer. BNFT says the GRA targets 230.13 billion cedis tax revenue for 2026. Traders, freight forwarders demand suspension of Publican AI. UBA delivers strong 148% profit growth in 2025, reinforces market leadership. Fido wins major honors at 5th FinTech Awards. There's also Cargill Care Support Mampon Demonstration School for the Deaf. All right, so let me look online quickly and look at what the online portals, the local online portals are reporting this morning. So Major Online says that FS rise as airport infrastructure levy takes effect from today. Utility tariffs drop from today as PURC announces electricity and water cuts. And there's also, if we scrap it, what do we replace it with? Mariada Defense OSP trusts surge. The City Newsroom says reparations debate must reflect historical truth, according to Ablakwa, who's slamming Kemi Badenoch. Yeah, she made a very unfortunate statement. Kemi, I don't know what came over you, but anyway, that's another conversation for another day. Now, Energy Ministry orders agencies to submit 24-hour economic plans by April 15. I'm talking Kemi. She's the leader of the Conservative Party in the UK. So just so you know exactly what I'm talking about. Ochami Kwame to build a pediatric center at Meishia Hospital to mark 50th birthday. Kudos, Kwame. Kudos. Wonderful. That's a good thing to do. J.J. Rawlings did not die of COVID-19, Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo. Doc, how did you know? Seen autopsy report? Anyway, Grammy Award-winning Jamaican-American reggae crown development chief in Ghana, the historic UN resolution on reparative justice for slavery, there's political interference halted rice and maize distribution, Agric Ministry informs PAC. Kwesi Appiah speaks on links to Ghana coaching job. And then finally, the Metro TV online.com has GFA received 600 plus applications for Black Stars coach position. Unbelievable. Mayor of Accra calls for public cooperation on safety enforcement after Newtown disaster. Kwesi Appiah denies Black Stars job offers. There's NADMO and National Security inspect deadly. There's Baifi Chrome Bridge in Fanteman. And then I've paid my dues. I'm Josh Fires back at critics over resurfaced video. All right. So that's it for the newspaper and the online portal review. Please stay with us. This is Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. My guest already seated. And we would proceed and kickstart with the conversation shortly. Please don't go anywhere.
Tanumo, onunchoni ha o dangma, chiechele wekun. Wani anutumo, osole mojiake, ubawo nani, aya, baba shushu. Amen. Tanumo, onunchoni ha o dangma, chiechele wekun. Wani anutumo, osole mojiake, ubawo nani, aya, baba shushu. Amen.
March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. Have you attained 45 years and older? Notice blood in your stool, a family history of cancer? Then don't wait to have a colonoscopy. Early detection of cancer and effective treatment save lives.
There are weak points in the development and spread of cancers of the large bowel that we have control over to stop, to reduce the incidence and deaths from these cancers. Achieving this success depends on you and me. We are fully prepared. What about you?
Visit Mintuba Hospital and Coloproctology Center today or call us. Mintuba Hospital, first Ghana Colorectal Center, in to serve a peculiar health need.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, we believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy. Specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties, choice of class.
Brush, 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 brush your teeth. Brush, 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 2 times a day. Brush with Kel-Kit.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kit's toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel-Kits, happy smile.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson, Asamo.
Me didn't tum. Mr. Friend me Calico, just call me cockroach.
Now, Mr. Friend me once now.
Hey, that's you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain was key to double the action. Me did this sasso spray. Mr. Friend is sasso quell. Yeah, go to my sasso. Come tum preko.
Hey, Unia, new release niana. Kaya gum.
A bitino was me new release. Me can no access fitemu hono. And Tabotech Garages Limited. Akwafa besiesi amana aye nitia. Obiase ya ka amunu no.
Accident car no na. Tabotech Garages Limited. Amana se jina ne naso sa no.
Me se wo akwafa broni fita engineer efra brochiraba. And wo check cars no. Na wo hunu ba bia fault krowo. And ho spare parts so wo de hye. Afenesi road. And so ho charges kakra bi o.
Tabotech Garages Limited.
Wo ye general servicing. Ebili engine overhauling, engine tuning, oven spraying, general electrical works, air condition installation work, BM, upholstery, gearbox, make a day.
Tabotech Garages Limited.
Apart from sir, car that wotimi ato, and now our trauma one was sign importation of cars and whose spare parts. If I butcher Wokoto car mawa, a free.
Ace also what you call
Tabotech Garages Limited. Our La Paz Malam Road after Bayard traffic light. Wow, Bibiania for 0206 48 17 and 3 and 0542 96 1111. Website tabletechghana.com.
Tabletech Garages Limited.
Hey, kaya wu bia benyane.
Tabletech Garages Limited.
Your car beauty and the power boosters.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, a who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to Amame Manfo, Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is several buying, a man's ring, Nesansu Mama Hotoso, a will beg you.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Hey, Bunty, why you there? One lie, tell her today will give me my money.
Oh, my guy, what's up? Oba unze me din na dede baby. Scan on ASA 500 cedis per. Ah.
I see. Level don't change. But you show me the way.
But there's some sorry Amanua. Talk to babe.
¿Quieres ganar dinero?
Huh?
Cash.
Yes, cash.
Let me show you the easy way to make money with One Shot.
Visit the Wanna Own website at wannaown.us. Sign up with your phone number and get ready to play. Select games on the homepage and then select One Shot game. Deposit to make an entry, then pick a number from 0 to 99. If your number comes up, you win a cool 500 cedis.
Hey, so it'll be easy like that.
Just like that.
So I'll go to buy my dream car.
Por supuesto. Just visit wannaown.us and win some cool cash prizes.
Baby, boom! You be too much.
Play responsibly. Gaming can be addictive. Accredited and endorsed by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
When nations rise, it begins with bold conversations. When economies grow, it is driven by partnership. This April, Ghana's business and policy leaders converge at the Kwewu Business Forum 2026, the nation's premier platform for investment, enterprise, and economic transformation. With special guest of honor, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, joining captains of industry, financial institutions, investors, and entrepreneurs.
The Kwewu Business Forum is more than just an event. It is a call to action. And so let us work together to build a Ghana that is competitive, productive, and inclusive, and a Ghana that creates opportunities for all.
Come, let's engage in high-level dialogue, explore industry exhibitions, build powerful networks, and unlock real opportunities from finance and insurance to manufacturing, agribusiness, SMEs, and innovation. This is where it all happens. From the 3rd to the 5th of April 2026 at the Kwewu Convention Center in Praeso Hills. Go to www.kwewubusinessforum.com and register now. To register for exhibitions, call 059 555 5885 or 059 555 5995. Kwewu Business Forum. Connect, promote, grow.
Kibo Bema is an strong cook. Jack, the Kibo Village or Bommy Market anymore pay. The shit, I will quite Papa Bia, what Kibo 100% natural spices. I am so cool. Unia, you bet Neasashi, Kibo Gary Mixer, and Yanino Asamuma, Abribia, any debia, or Easter Imu, Kibo Village, any Metro TV Jollof Cook Festival, Eddie Adriano, Abramo life, or market anymore. Yeah, Kaise, Afi, Yeri natural spices. And Kibo Gary soakings. And here the best she is the Ajieni. A better life, Kibo village, or Bobby market anymore. Jabiarada, any enumerate beer. Let's say every 2nd April to 6th April. Don't miss out. Kibo village, keep the culture, live the moment.
Yeah, I know you're enjoying the tune. Yes, I was enjoying the tune too. Nice tune, isn't it? George Darko, may his soul rest in peace. He used to be a family friend, and he's one of the, I think, one of the best high life, musicians that this country has ever produced. May his soul continue to rest in perfect peace. I enjoyed it. Odokala is the title of that track. Lovely track, wasn't it? Anyway, my guests are seated, and so we'll get started with the show. But before I do that, let me just remind you once again that please discover MNC Group Global, your #1 partner in minerals and food commodity trading, real estate development, general logistics, procurement, management consultancy, investment advisory, import and export. They have headquarters in East Legon, right here in Accra, Ghana. For those of you watching outside of this country, it's in Accra, Ghana, East Legon. Now, MNC Group has offices in Dubai as well. That's in Hong Kong, and also Guangzhou in China. There's Johannesburg in South Africa. There's Virginia, USA. There's Arezzo in Italy, and there's Hanover in Germany. So we connect markets that drive business growth with tailor-made solutions that will meets your needs. So trust us to maximize your value in every deal. So reach us on MNC Group at mncgroupgh.com or call 0302 998 246 0302 998 246. There's a 026 5505 337 026 5505 337 or 056 103 2252 056 103 2252. MNC Group, totally reliant. Let me also tell you about the the Kweu Business Forum before I bring in my guest. It's one of the most anticipated events in the calendar of this country. Now, the Kweu Business Forum, you know, it's about the fact that, look, when nations rise, it begins with bold conversations, and when economies grow, it is driven by partnerships. Now, this April, Ghana's business and policy leaders are converging at the Kweu Business Forum 2026, the nation's premier platform for investment, enterprise, and economic transformation. With special guest of honor, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, joining captains of industry, financial institutions, investors, and entrepreneurs. Come engage in a high-level dialogue and explore industry exhibitions, build powerful networks, unlock real opportunities from finance and insurance to manufacturing, agribusiness, SMEs, and innovation. This is where it all happens. Starting from the 3rd to the 5th of April 2026 at the Kweu Convention Center, and go to apparently it's in Impriaso, not ATBA, so we need to correct that. It's Impriaso. So go to www.kweubusinessforum.com and register now to attend. Now, to register for exhibitions, call 059 555 5885, 059 555 5885, or 059 555 5995. Kweu Business Forum, connect, promote, grow. It's proudly sponsored by and supported by Platinum sponsor KGL Group. And there's also gold sponsors being APSA, CBG, Republic Bank, Star Oil, Bauer Rock, GCB, Serene Insurance. Silver sponsor is UMB Bank. There's Fidelity Bank, Bank of Africa, Omni Basic Bank. There's also ADB. There's Bost Energies. There's GRA. There's a SNIT. There's X Natural Mineral Water. Bronze sponsors are EcoBank, NIB PLC. There's NutriFoods Ghana. There's Casa Preco. There's in Mexico, Ghana. There's Virtual Security Africa. The media partners are Joy FM and Metro Television. So, so my guests are seated here, and we're going to kickstart with our conversations shortly. And my guests are, two of them are not new to this platform at all. In fact, they've been here several times. And so let me just quickly introduce them. So Andre Japamesa is a man who wears many hats. He used to be a former Deputy Energy Minister and also a former Minister for the Creative Arts and Tourism Ministry. He is also former MP for 2nd D. He's also a private legal practitioner. He's joined us this morning. Good morning, Andy. It's good to see you.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yeah, good one, good one, good one. I hope the family, everybody's fine.
By His grace, right. Everybody's good.
Right.
Yourself?
Small.
Great.
Alhamdulillah. Mr. Kwesi Pratt Jr. is also with us here. He's a former managing editor of the Insight newspaper. He's also a seasoned and a veteran journalist as well. He's also a very, very passionate Pan-Africanist and an Nkrumahist as well. Uncle C, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us on the show. It's always a pleasure to have you join us. Now, I want us to start perhaps in an unconventional way. Unconventional because we rarely talk about football. But this is the Black Stars we're talking about. The Black Stars is supposed to be the pride of this country, and the Black Stars are struggling. We've lost our coach. When I say we've lost our coach, we sacked him actually. We're looking for a new coach, and all kinds of names have come up. We need to find out whether are we diagnosing the problems rightly, because if you get the diagnosis wrong, obviously the prognosis will also be wrong. we've sacked him when we just were less than 100 days, basically 71 days for the World Cup. And so it looks like we're in our 6s and 7s as to what to do. And if you look at today's daily graphic, we're told there's this ex-Moroccan coach who's leading the race, and Maurice Kwanzaa, we all know Maurice Kwanzaa, he's one of the top sports journalists that we have in this country. Long time, Maurice, it's been a while. How are you? So he reports for the Daily Graphic, and it's been Daily Graphic for many years, for decades. Now he talks about the fact that Ghana Football Association is back in the market for a new Black Stars head coach after the abrupt dismissal of Otuado, and attention has already shifted to a high-profile candidate who could redefine Ghana's World Cup ambitions. The Daily Graphic understands that Walid Redragui, the man who masterminded Morocco's historic fourth-place finish at the 2022 FIFA World Cup, has emerged as a leading contender to take over the vacant role ahead of the 2026 global showpiece. The Moroccan's name has quickly risen to the top of suitable candidates following the Black Stars, tacticians' abrupt exit, with Ghanaian officials already making contact as they scramble for a coach capable of imposing structured belief and immediate results. There's also growing speculation around the availability of Hervé Renard, the 55-year-old French tactician with a proven pedigree on the African stage, having guided Zambia and Cote d'Ivoire to African triumphs in 2020, 2012, and 2015, respectively. The media reports have increasingly linked Renard to the Ghana job, with Frenchman who previously served as assistant coach of the Black Stars during the 2028 Africa Cup of Nations. I think he was the deputy to Claude Leroy, I believe so. Yes, I'm right about that. Now, media reports have increasingly linked him to the Ghana job, with the Frenchman who previously served as assistant coach of the Black Stars during the 2028 Africa Cup of Nations, reportedly on the verge of parting ways with the Saudi Arabian Football Federation as head coach of the national team. Otuado's exit was confirmed just hours after Ghana's 2-1 defeat to Germany in Stuttgart last Monday, the team's fourth consecutive loss following a late-night crisis meeting involving GFA President Kurt Edwin Simeon Okreku, Black Stars Management Committee Chairman Randy Abbey, Sports Minister Kofi Adams, and other key power brokers at the team's, Radisson Blue Hotel. With just 71 days, yes, I was right on that, to the 2026 World Cup, the decision to part ways with the coach who secured back-to-back qualifications underlines the growing unease about Otuado's ability to deliver on the global stage and the brutal reality that qualifications was no longer enough. Now, I've made an observation even before you submit on this matter, or you give me your thoughts on this matter. Yeah, that's the two of them. I was right. That's Claude Leroy. He's also a French coach. Yes, with Hervé Renard when he was his deputy. Must have been back in 2008, thereabouts, I believe so. But I don't know, when Uncle C, you made this observation. None of the players is actually even tweeted or put out anything there to say, we wish you well, good luck, Otuado. None of them. That's strange. Usually, usually when players lose their coach, they wish him well. Not even one of the players. Something must have been fundamentally wrong. But anyway, obviously, how did you react when you heard Coach Otuado had been sacked?
Well, to be honest with you, I'm not very knowledgeable about football coaching. So, all of us, as Ghanaians, young men and old men, have played football one time or the other. But that does not give me the qualification,
right?
To comment about high issues like the selection of a coach for the national team and so on. But, Moro, confusion it's obvious. You can see confusion, in whatever discipline and so on. Now, I am completely shocked, absolutely shocked, that the football authorities, the sports authorities, waited until it was 75 days to the World Cup before deciding to dismiss the coach. This for me is an indication that the problem cannot be the coach. The problem is the whole administration of football. You understand?
Yes, sir.
How come that they discovered only 75 days to this major tournament that the coach was bad? And the coach has been around for how long? So this speaks to a major problem with football administration. And I think that it's important for us to focus properly, to remove the focus from the coach to football administration generally in our country.
Right.
Listen, a coach has to deal with many things. One of the things that a coach has to deal with is the technical skills of the players. You understand?
Right.
In addition to that, the coach has to understand the temperament of the players, their emotional build-up and so on. The coach has to have an idea, about the social, economic, psychological and other problems of the players. Right. You're not going to feel the player who is in the midst of bereavement. You may not want to feel the player who is in the midst of bereavement, or a player whose children have failed the paternity test and so on. All kinds of things goes into the selection of players and their deployment. I am not sure that a new coach can grasp all of these different variants in 71 days. It is impossible. He has to be a magician. You understand? So this decision to change the coach, even if he was the worst coach in the world, 75 days before a tournament is reckless in the extreme. And I want to put that on record. I think this is a particularly reckless move. You understand? Now, when you talk about the Black Stars, we are talking about the national pride, the national identity, the national contribution to football. So sometimes in football, you talk about the French style of play.
Yeah.
You talk about the German style of play and so on. Because teams bring something on board. It's not just about picking caps and so on. It's about what you are bringing on board. This gentleman who finally discovered the science of 4-2-4 formation.
Right.
You understand? Right. Football, to some extent, is also a science. There was a Ghanaian coach, I believe, some time ago,
Somebody,
who decided that rather than play 11-11,
right,
he would play 10-11.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about the multi system.
No, and it achieved results and so on. Right. He decided that he was not going to play 11-11. He played 10-11 and achieved results. I've forgotten what his name was. You understand? So coaching it's much more complicated than we make it seem and so on. Now I sit here and I'm watching the debate about who becomes the next coach and so on. We've had this debate many times over. If you have a coach who doesn't know Kwadasu Park in Kumasi, you have a problem on your hand. If you have a coach who has never been to the Kotobabi Park, you have a problem. How is the coach able to identify authentic Ghanaian talent? You understand? So most of the time you employ coaches and all they do is to travel from Germany to Britain, to France, to Netherlands and so on, looking for people who, to the best of our knowledge, have no direct link with Ghana, who don't understand Ghana, who don't know where Ghana is even on the map. You understand? People who don't know what Kunkunte is and so on. and these are the people who are representing us. They are our representatives. That's a problem. And that is why local content in the formation of the Black Star team leaves a lot to be desired. Because the coaches don't know nothing about the country. They don't know anything about our national league. They don't know anything about how calls are developed and so on. So we give them the post. They just go around Europe mainly, selecting people who may have the slightest link to Ghana. Somebody whose mother is half Ghanaian, who was born in Germany, has never been to Ghana, and so on. Oh, he's playing in the European League. Bam, they grab him, put him in the Black Star. Is that the Black Star?
He has better exposure.
Is that the Black Star? Is that a Ghanaian team? First of all, your coach is non-Ghanaian. Many of your players are Ghanaians by convenience. Ghanaians by convenience. So Where is that passion for Ghana? Where is that love for Ghana? Where is that commitment to do something extraordinary, which may even involve injury to the player and so on? Where is your Self-Kofi spirit in that player? Where is the Agrifin spirit in that player? Where is the Mfum spirit in that player? Where is the Robert Mensah spirit in that player? It's not there. You understand? These are people who are playing for convenience. And that is why they prioritize the European League over our international championships. Why? There have been cases where some of them have said that, look, I have an impending European important game, and I'm not going to play in your national championships, either on the continental scale or whatever, to get injured, to miss my opportunity of playing for the European side. Because that's where they make their money.
Well, we see some of these people who give these kinds of excuses are Ghanaian, born Ghanaian, raised here, played all their local leagues and traveled abroad and starts to play for some of these top teams in Europe. They make these excuses. These are born and bred. They eat the kokonte, they play.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So you're making my point.
Yes.
About commitment.
Right. So no, the point I'm trying to make is that the commitment doesn't only come from those who were born and bred
But
here.
that's an ingredient.
Yes, it is.
Unless you want to dismiss it as an ingredient.
But there are also people who were actually born outside.
Commitment.
Who were scouted, brought to play for the. I mean, Junior Agogo, for instance, he wasn't raised here, but you saw his commitment to the Black Stars. So it's not a case of everybody who was born outside doesn't have commitment.
If you can give me a case,
that's fine.
That's fine. If you can give me a case, of somebody who was not born here, who was not raised here, who doesn't have emotional, political, and cultural attachments to Ghana. Who has displayed more commitment than people who were groomed here, then we'll be making a point.
Okay.
But to say that some of the people who were groomed here are like them doesn't make a point.
If you take this player, for instance, Thomas Partey, who has consistently come under some criticisms for his level of commitment towards the Black Stars. But Thomas Partey, born, bred.
You still don't understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that
I'm just giving one example.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is possible. You haven't given me one example.
No, Thomas Partey.
No. You haven't given me one example of somebody who had no cultural links.
Right, to Ghana.
And other links to Ghana, whose commitment is higher than people who were groomed in Ghana.
So I mentioned Junior Agogo. Junior Agogo. I mean, we all saw Junior Agogo came when he was given the chance to play for the Black Stars.
You still don't get me.
Okay.
No,
maybe I don't get it.
I'm saying that give me an example of somebody who doesn't have these links that I've mentioned.
Political, cultural.
Whose level of commitment is higher than a locally brewed Ghanaian player.
Okay.
That's the point that I was asking. So you haven't been able to give me that example.
No, I get the point.
You understand?
Because the examples I'm giving are those who are Ghanaians who are applying their trade abroad.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
Right.
So you haven't given me the example that I asked for.
Yes.
You know.
You're right.
But listen, I'm also very seriously worried about the selection of foreign coaches for a number of reasons. One, the manner in which you have selected foreign coaches has tended to play our own inferiority complexes.
True.
Okay. You employ a foreign coach and pay him 10 times what you pay the Ghanaian coach for doing the same job.
Yes.
What signal are you sending to the world? Okay. You employ a foreign coach, give him conditions of service which are 10 times better than the Ghanaian. And in fact, our history shows that some of the Ghanaian coaches have done extremely well, better than the foreign coaches that they have employed.
Absolutely.
So what is the rationale for that? You understand? It's just this inferiority complex which finds expression in sports administration. I'm completely worried.
In fact, I'm going to see, all the 4 cups that we won, the last one being 82, we all won by Ghanaian coaches.
But that's the point I'm making.
Not even one.
That's the point I'm making. So this complex of inferiority, which leads us on this path, I think is repugnant in the extreme. Okay. Now, I'm sure all of us have been watching these matches, especially you. I know you love football to bits, you know. But all of us have been watching this match.
Yeah.
Watch the matches. Anytime there's a major development in the game, a goal is scored, a penalty, you know, whatever, the cameras just pan to the coach. The cameras pan to the coach. They pan to the bench. Don't you feel embarrassed when we are watching these games? And there's an incident and the camera pans to a coach and that coach is flipping different, doesn't look Ghanaian in any way. The Black Star has to be the Black Star. Black Star. The Black Star of Africa. It has to reflect in who you choose as a coach, in who your players are, in the tactics you employ in the game and so on. Black Star. That's the Black Star of Africa.
Not White Star.
That's the Black Star. Nkrumah's dream of the Black Star. You understand? But you see, our current football administrators are focused on irrelevant things. The Black Star team is an ambassadorial team. The team is meant to serve as ambassadors of Ghana. You know, they raise high our national flag. Our national pride ought to be embedded in the team. You understand? So it's not just about kicking a ball around and kicking balls into goalposts and so on. It's much more than that. It's a team which will reflect our history, our ambitions as a people. It's a team which should reflect our place in the world. And all of this have to be taken into consideration. Unfortunately, many football administrators, first of all, don't even know our history. They don't identify with national aspirations. They don't understand the concept of the Black Star. You know, they just see it as the name of a team. They don't understand when James Brown sings and says, for example, that you know, I'm black and proud. They don't understand it. Right. They don't understand the context of apartheid and racism. They don't understand all of these contexts. So they make flippant decisions.
You've gone to pay your skin asset to go and ask a Pan-Africanist issue about Black Stars.
Black Stars, yeah, well.
Eh?
Yeah. You mean I've said it all?
Now we've gone to James Bond.
No, but he's right. It's got to be Black Stars, not White Stars. No, we have White Stars. You know.
In the end,
obviously, let me take a little breather.
Flippant decisions.
Yes. I'll come back to you on what you mean by flippant decisions. You're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Please don't go anywhere. This is Black Metro TV.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kelkit Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky whiter, chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kelkits, happy smile.
buddy. It's me, Azar.
Yeah, me now they see. Hey, you look fresh.
Hey.
With your label today.
Wait till you see what's inside me.
Azar, freshly made inside and out for greater coverage and colors that last longer and beautify your walls, spaces and places. Azar, no size. Go ahead. Buy now. Azar, #1 from Azar Group since 1921.
Finding the ideal property shouldn't be a daunting task. At MNC Properties, we believe everyone deserves a place to call home. That's why we specialize in providing affordable housing options under our flagship project, Fresh Property Joy. Specifically designed for low and medium income earners. Our range of customizable homes includes 2 and 3 bedroom standard and executive options, all meticulously crafted using innovative interlocking brick technology. We understand the importance of simplicity and convenience in the acquisition process. That's why we have designed our procedures to be straightforward and hassle-free, offering flexible payment options tailored to your individual needs. In addition to our affordable homes, we proudly offer litigation-free lands for sale in vibrant and upscale communities that present the perfect opportunity to build your dream home. We are committed to making affordable housing a reality, providing you with the joy of owning a home that meets your budgets and aspirations. Whether you're looking to buy, rent, or invest, we've got you covered. Our service team is ready to assist you on 030-255-1917. MNC Properties, choice of class.
Wabedum time aso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwaya mabesisia. Abozing. Akache say no ya konate and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old dish. Eji. Dabio, baby wom. Ready. Hey, baby wom. Ah, Eji. I'll cause some discomfort. Ah. Sorry, well, uncle, where would the dad? Why your funeral?
Say a sorry insecticide GB at a user. Co pharmacy in a shop biamu. Namum say a pharmacy supermarket and a shop ra. Na repedudu to a cotonwa. On for Royal Dutch and our Aerofield Trading. Effie spray with daimwa. Chansima a dronu. Ansana a radine. Inkratui FDA ajatum.
When nations rise, it begins with bold conversations. When economies grow, it is driven by partnership. This April, Ghana's business and policy leaders converge at the Pro-Business Forum 2026, the nation's premier platform for investment, enterprise, and economic transformation. With special guest of honor, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, joining captains of industry, financial institutions, investors, and entrepreneurs.
The Pro-Business Forum is more than just an event. It is a call to action. And so let us work together to build a Ghana that is competitive, productive, and inclusive, and a Ghana that creates opportunities for all.
Come, let's engage in high-level dialogue, explore industry exhibitions, build powerful networks, and unlock real opportunities from finance and insurance to manufacturing, agribusiness, SMEs, and innovation. This is where it all happens. From the 3rd to the 5th of April 2026 at the Kwewu Convention Center in Praeso Hills. Go to www.kwewubusinessforum.com and register now. To register for exhibitions, call 059-555-5885 or 059-555-5995. Kwewu Business Forum. Connect, promote, grow.
Afi Kibo Bema Eastern Ayesron Kukra Jack Niesia o Kibo Village Obomi Market nani mo pe Nia shit akoko nkwan papa bi a wodi Kibo 100% natural spices aye ni soko Udia yebe tieni ne asa hwe Kibo gari mixer eniani nuro asemuma abere bia eni de bia e wo Easter yi mu Kibo Village eni Metro TV Jollof Cook Festival edi aduane no a ebremo live e wo market nani mo Yebe didi, yebe nom, yebe saso Philiminia. Kaise, natural spices and Kibo Gary soakings. And here the best she is the Adjieni. A better life, I Kibo village or Bobby market anymore. Jabiara any enumerate beer. Let's say every 2nd April to 6th April. Don't miss out. Kibo village, keep the culture, live the moment.
Anyway, whoever Keto Kreku is, what they say, we salute her. Yes. You're watching Good Morning God on Metro Television. My guests are still here. Mr. Andrew Kofi Chapambesa, he's a lawyer and also a former deputy minister and a former minister. He's also a former MP for the people of 2nd D. He's representing the New Patriotic Party. And then also Mr. Kwesi Pratt Jr., former managing editor of the Insight newspaper, a veteran and a seasoned journalist, is also here with us. Now, Kwesi, you were talking about making flippant decisions, and that had to apologetically and rudely interrupt you because we had to go for a break. Yes, flippant decisions. Please go ahead.
Yeah, but the break was interesting. At least I saw my friend Kennedy in Japan, doing the dance. And,
you mean Ket Okreku?
No,
okay,
the guy in white. Who was it?
Oh, that's Ket Okreku.
Ket Okreku?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The GFA boss. But he's also a very good friend, isn't he?
I don't know him.
Oh, okay.
But he clearly dances well.
Yeah, he's a very good dancer.
He dances well.
Yes.
He dances very well.
Yes.
And
but he also administers football very well. Yes.
He administers football very well.
Yes.
By deciding 75 days to a World Cup to change the coach. That's administering football very, very well. Well, congratulations.
Okay. Andy.
Well.
Good
morning.
You have any brief thoughts to share?
And good morning to
you are my senior. You know that.
And to our cherished viewers.
You want to defend that?
It's been a while.
You rather
we go way back.
Oh really?
So, yes, of course. We work together.
In different roles and
different
capacities.
projects.
So, oh wow, I didn't know.
Way before I went into politics.
Wow.
And I've always valued his advice.
Right.
He's my senior.
It's not easy for one Kwesi to take somebody's advice. So once he takes your advice, then it means
he's a lawyer. I'm not.
Adi.
But you see, this politics, it tests your patriotism sometimes.
Right.
Because only a few months ago, we were told that Black Stars performance, same coach, same players.
Right.
At the time, they were not doing very well.
Right.
I believe that they had failed to qualify for AFCON. We were told that it was because of the bad governance of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. The reason why Black Stars was performing badly. Fast forward when government changed and Black Stars qualified for the World Cup. Same coach, same players. We're told that Aban Papa Abba. And that is the reason for the performance of the Black Stars. That government is still in power. And only over the weekend, Black Stars lost 2 games back to back. And as a consequence, that same coach under Akufo-Addo, that same coach under the new Aban Papa that has come, that same coach is now so terrible, he's had to be fired with immediate effect. But I will forgive them because we are Ghanaians first before the politics. And we all wish that our Black Stars at all times are able to perform to bring some glory to Ghana. Senior has spoken a lot, and I associate myself largely with some of the sentiments that he's expressed. I mean, I'm not an expert in football, but I don't think that changing the coach really at this time, 70 or so odd days to a major global tournament, is the best decision. Now we are scrambling around to find a coach. The European League hasn't ended. It's not going to end until sometime mid-May.
Yeah.
And that's where most of these players ply their trade. And so even if you get a coach today, tomorrow, he's not going to have access to a large chunk of the team until post the European leagues have ended.
True.
That is the only time that, what it then means is that they will have only 1 month to prepare the team for the World Cup. Is he going to be able to bring that, within the time frame that he has?
Yeah.
Meet our expectation in terms of what skill sets that he has to bring on board to improve the team?
$1 billion question.
Only time will tell. But I think that if for nothing at all, Utuado qualified the team for the for the World Cup. Yes, he failed to qualify us for the AFCON. Okay, that in itself probably is the reason why the GFA kept him on for this while, thinking that he probably will be able to, take us to the World Cup, which is done before, even though at the time we didn't win any game in the group stages and had to exit. But that said, I really don't think that it's a good decision. But I guess that the experts in the game know better. Let's see how it is that they are able to get a new coach and get him to prepare the team for the World Cup. Because we are all looking forward to attend at least some of the games. So let's see.
Oh,
yeah, that would be my comment.
You have plans?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting tournament.
Yeah.
Canada,
would you
USA,
be in America, Mexico, or Canada? Which of them?
I don't know about Mexico yet, but certainly Canada and US. I'm planning to attend the games, at least the Ghana Black Stars games. I got tickets, from the Ghana Football Association when they put them out for sale sometime in February. So we'll see how it goes.
All right, Uncle C. Even though some of the papers have not published this, and perhaps understandably so because it's been almost a week old, but as sometimes happens on this show, once in a while we'll bring up an issue which has not been reported by the newspapers for very, very good reasons and for very, very valid and legitimate reasons. I mean, last week you were here and we raised the issue about reparations and our own president, Excellency John Dramani Mahama, being the African champion for the AU as far as reparations are concerned. In fact, last week, Wednesday, when you came here, it was actually the day when the resolution was going to be voted on. whether the perpetrators, whether the United Nations, let me put it that way, was actually going to accept whether reparations was actually a grievous crime against humanity or not. Now, true to your prediction, because you had predicted that you didn't see this resolution not getting the kind of endorsement that it deserved, and true to your prediction, it has happened. So now the United Nations, 123 countries, have all accepted that it was terrible, it was wrong. Now the conversation has to be, so what do we do next? That's where we are. Now, fortunately, you are here with us again. What do you make of that this particular development? There have been other issues that have come up, but let me just briefly pick your thoughts on what you make of how the voting pattern went and so on, and some of the issues that have come up since.
Well, first, I think there's a certain narrative which is not absolutely correct.
Right.
And we need to look at it.
Okay.
I mean, this narrative sees the victory as a Ghanaian victory. It even gets worse. Sometimes it's reduced to an NDC victory. And worse still, it is sometimes reduced to a Mahama victory. It is not. To be honest with you, the CARICOM nations were ahead of Africa. The CARICOM nations, the countries of the Caribbean, have been fighting for reparation for decades. You understand? They had established mechanisms for demanding reparation. They'd gone through the legal processes and so on. So the CARICOM nations were ahead of Africa. So we shouldn't take credit where it belongs to others. The CARICOM nations have been in the lead, you understand? Now, besides, this resolution was actually tabled by President John Dramani Mahama of Ghana on behalf of 55 countries in Africa. 55 countries in Africa. The Caribbean states wholeheartedly, unanimously supported the resolution. So this is a resolution which was put before the UN General Assembly by CARICOM and the African Union. Okay. Our president happened to be the person who moved the resolution. One, because he was appointed, I think, in 2025 as the AU champion for reparations. He became the AU's official spokesperson for reparations. And during his tenure, he's done extremely well. President John Dramani Mahama has done extremely well during his tenure as the AU champion for reparations. There's no doubt at all about it. But we have to appreciate the fact that he was acting on behalf of his colleagues. Indeed, all 55 heads of states could not have proposed this resolution. Only one had to do so. And the one who had to do so was the AU's champion for reparations. And the AU champion for reparations is President John Dramani Mahama. And he's done an excellent job of the task which was assigned to him. Now, I was at home watching television when the voting started. And I saw something I don't think that many people saw it. Cuba was the first country to vote for the resolution.
Interesting.
You know, there's a board on which there's a list of countries. So when the vote is announced, if you press the yes button, it shows green.
Right.
Cuba was the first country which voted and it showed green.
Okay.
Now that is interesting for many reasons. Because Cuba has a huge diasporan population. Cuba has a black population, huge diasporan African population. Indeed, if you go to Cuba, the dominant religion is African traditional religion, which traces its roots to Nigeria and so on. So Cuba has that link, and also the long historical links with Africa, its participation in the national liberation struggle, its lead role in bringing an end to apartheid and so on. So it fitted. So Cuba was the first country, and for me, it was significant. Now, the other thing which was also very significant was the three countries which voted against the resolution.
Yes.
One, let's start with the United States of America. Look, in terms of the stealing of surpluses that were generated with slave labor, the U.S. benefited the most. So if you see reparation as payment, return of resources and so on, the U.S. economy will suffer the most because it is the largest beneficiary of the accumulation and stealing of value which was generated by slave labor and so on. So you can understand that. An aspect of the slave trade also has to do with racism. And racism is almost endemic in the United States of America. You know, in my lifetime, blacks and whites could not take the same buses in the US. In fact, when they could take the same buses, there were places which were reserved for blacks and places reserved for whites. In fact, it took Rosa Parks, civil rights activists, to protest such that blacks and whites could sit anywhere on a bus. And that's in my lifetime, you understand. The discrimination against Chicanos, Latinos, and Africans in the United States is almost legendary. Look, after Ghana's independence, Kwabena Agbele-Gbedema, who was Nkrumah's finance minister, traveled to the United States of America. This after Ghana's independence, mark you, 1957. He was denied access to a cafe because he was black. This is recent. You understand? So it is not surprising to get a country like the United States of America voting against such a resolution, because to vote for such a resolution would amount to self-indictment. So I can understand that. Then there is Israel, which also voted against the resolution. And interestingly, yesterday, France decided that its airspace is not available for the flying of weapons to Israel. It has banned the use of its airspace to supply the Israeli military. France, yesterday. Italy has taken a similar decision, and so on. Many European countries are coming on board, and so on. Now, 2 days ago, Israel passed a law which discriminated blatantly against other nationalities. It passed a law which says that Palestinians which are caught in violent crimes and so on, terrorist activities and so on,
should be killed.
Should be executed by hanging.
Yes.
The whole world is in uproar. The whole world is saying that this is racist. Yeah. This is apartheid. The European Union has taken a stand against this. You understand? So a country which is itself racist, in fact, practices the worst form of racism, which is apartheid. The UN yesterday made a statement that the law amounts to apartheid. The UN, okay? The UN Secretary General and so on. So a country which is itself engaged in racist practices, the worst form of racism and so on, cannot be expected to vote for such a resolution. It's clear. You know, I'm not worried. It was expected. Then there is Argentina. Now, if you look at Argentina, you have to look at the population dynamics of Argentina. Argentina was a major beneficiary of slave labor. There were many Africans there. Since the abolition of slave trade, of slavery, since its official abolition, black numbers have been dwindling. To the extent that today, the black population is virtually insignificant in Argentina. Why? There's a deliberate policy of keeping blacks out. Some have even suggested that it is possible that some genocide was carried out against the black population. I don't have the full facts. I won't go there. But if you look at the population dynamics of Argentina, the black population has been reducing drastically, needing some explanation. I'm not surprised that Argentina took that stance. Okay. Then there is the case of the members of the European Union who abstained. And there's an article in the Financial Times written by one of the topmost journalists in the UK and so on, which explains why it was necessary for European Union member states to abstain. In fact, he even argued that they should have voted against the resolution. And he says that, look, if you do the calculation, reparation will cost European countries trillions of euros. And that will lead to the collapse of the economies of the European Union members. So for them, this is what some of them describe as an existential threat to their economies. And they are right. My friend, if you take the Western countries today, there is not one institution which is not thriving. But let me put it this way, which is thriving, which is not linked to the slave trade. Not one.
Sure.
The educational institutions, their financial institutions, even their monarchies, and so on. They thrive today because of the stolen wealth of Africa that they sit on. And my brother, I'll give you just a few examples. I think I've even overused this particular example, but I'll use it again.
Right.
If you take Barclays Bank, the resources which went into establishing Barclays Bank came from the slave trade.
Right.
In fact, the Barclay brothers who established Barclays Bank were slave traders. Okay? So that is significant. You want to take the monarchy. Today, King Charles, on his official ceremonies and so on, he rides in a gold chariot, not golden, gold chariot. That gold, where did it come from? I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
Cape Coast. Your place. Cape Coast. It came from Cape Coast. That is the wealth of the African people which was stolen. Of course, you know about these European monarchs, the diamonds in their crowns and so on, where it came from and so on. I'm not going to go into that, you know. So they fear that if this reparation movement is carried on beyond a certain extent, their economies are in jeopardy. The very foundations, the surpluses that led to building those economies will be taken away from them. So they're in panic.
Right.
And I can understand that. Finally, my brother, where have we come to? The United Nations General Assembly, representing the world, has, in a significant majority vote, endorsed the position that the transatlantic slave trade is the worst crime against humanity. That's a vindication. That's a major vindication we've been looking for years, which has been denied. We now have it.
The perpetrators disagree.
What,
the EU says...
They're in a minority. I've already explained that.
The EU says one of the reasons why they abstained was because they do not want to accept that it is the gravest or the worst crime perpetrated against, because there's the Holocaust. For them, the Holocaust is worse than...
I thought that was the Israeli position.
Yeah, that's Israeli and the EU position. In fact, they wanted that to be incorporated into the resolution. Yes, please go ahead. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Okay. I know you get there. I just couldn't wait.
If you would allow.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I'll go see. Please go ahead.
You see? Now you make me lose my train. But I'll come back.
Sorry. My apologies.
Don't worry at all.
Right.
You know, one, the argument that passing a resolution which says the transatlantic slave trade is the worst crime against humanity establish a hierarchy of law.
Yes.
And that is offensive to the general principles of law.
Exactly.
I think it's an illiterate position to take.
Why?
Fortunately for us, we are sitting with a lawyer. And a lawyer of no mean repute is here. So we can examine that, even on the technical basis.
Right.
You see, the law establishes a hierarchy of crimes.
True.
Every law, anywhere, establishes a hierarchy of crimes.
Very inherent.
It's inherent. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now listen. Why is it that shoplifting carries a sentence which is less than murder? That's a hierarchy.
True.
Misdemeanor against felony.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a hierarchy.
So it's high crime.
Yes. Yeah, that's a hierarchy. So that position of the European Union, the United States of America, and Israel collapses. The law establishes a hierarchy all the time.
Okay.
Even the fact that some cases are triable at the magistrate court, and that some cases can only be triable at the high court. You can't take the same cases to the magistrate court, establishes a hierarchy.
True.
So that argument is neither
False
here
flat.
nor there.
Right.
It's useless.
Right.
Now, let's come back to the claim that the Holocaust is the worst crime against humanity. Let's come back to that. The official records I've seen, and it's very well documented in the book I just published,
Yes.
is that at least the least number of Africans who were captured into slavery is 12.6 million. 12.6 million Africans were captured into slavery. The official record says that for every one person who was captured into slavery, 3 others were killed. Because there were wars of capture. There was slave resistance right on our soil and even on the boats, including one which was named Jesus. One of the slave boats was named Jesus. Do you know that?
Slave boat?
Yeah, was
Jesus.
named Jesus. Yeah, check. Including one of the slave boats which was named Jesus. Okay? So if you do the multiplication, if you do the maths, you're talking about 50 million people who were lost in this madness, in this atrocious crime which was committed against the African people. Compare that to the Holocaust. There's the official maths. There are some estimates which are much bigger than this. So even in terms of the numbers, it is clear. You understand? But then look at the nature of the crime. The nature of the crime. And I'm not absolving Hitler for the crimes he committed against the Jewish people and mankind generally. I'm not. Those were criminal actions who deserve condemnation and so on. The burning of Jews in gas chambers and so on cannot be justified under any circumstance. But in terms of comparison, the crimes which were committed against the African people in the transatlantic slave trade were worse than the sufferings that the Jews had to endure. And please, Google it. You have your machine here. Google it. At a certain stage, the African skin, this, was used in the manufacture of belts and bags. They were considered as high-value fashion items. Did that happen to the Jews? I mean, what crime can be worse than capturing human beings, deskinning them, and using their skins to manufacture bags and belts? Can you imagine? But that happened to the African people. You understand? These were horrendous crimes which were committed against us. We were not treated better than the cows on their farms. You see, if you buy a cow in the market, when the cow gives birth, the calves are yours. You understand? By law, they are yours. When the African slave gave birth, the children did not belong to the African slave. It belonged to the slave owner. That's how we're treated. Like cows, like fowls. That's horrendous crimes, against us, and so on. And I can go on and talk about these crimes and how atrocious these crimes were. The transatlantic slave trade destroyed African science. And I'd like to give you one example of the extent to which they destroyed. Two, actually.
Yeah.
One.
Okay, so please try and learn so that I can bring in
When COVID-19 broke out, the science of vaccines became so important around the world and so. I didn't know before then, but I got to know when COVID-19 broke out that vaccination as a science was developed in West Africa and taken to the United States of America.
Right.
Now, how many African countries are producing vaccines? And even those that are producing vaccines, we have to pay royalty to European companies, to Indian companies, and so on, when the technology originally is African. There is the case of the African woman who was arrested in Elmina and tried in the castle, in the Elmina castle, and subsequently taken to Portugal and so on. What was her crime? She had a sore on her hand, and she used an African balm to cure it. She was accused of witchcraft. So African medical science was seen as witchcraft. They destroyed it. You understand? You should read the papal bull, which was issued by the Pope in 1452, and its content. You should read the law which declared African lands as vacant lands, and so on. So clearly this is the worst crime.
Okay.
But the most important question you've asked is, where do we go from here?
Yes. Let me. That's the going forward. Let me bring in Andrew, and then we can come back and talk about where do we go from here. But my friend Sedu has just told me that he sent me. He says reparations resolution already yielding fruits. Honorable Speaker Gabra says his office has been contacted by the Netherlands to return 200 artifacts taken out of Africa during the colonial era. But Andy, I know you have thoughts to share on this, but let me ask you this: what moral guts do Africans, I'm talking about Caribbeans, what moral guts do we have to be demanding some form of reparatory justice when we ourselves were involved in selling our own people as Manasseh?
But that's false. That's a false narrative. No, you're so respected. Don't repeat that anywhere.
No, it's out there. When I talk about
it is based on
it's out there.
Yes. I hope I'll have
in fact,
the
president has had to respond to this, and we'll play that video.
And
that's why I'm asking
so
Andrew this
ignorant.
Now, bring you. Hold on. So I'm sure you've heard that question too, and the sort of backlash and the criticism that has greeted it. And that's what I'm asking you. Well, I want to start from there before you give me your general thoughts on the matter.
I don't think that there's any basis for that assertion.
Okay.
I've read some piece that I believe it's Kofi Bentil who put out.
It was a back and forth between Manasseh and Kofi. Unbelievable. They debated it the whole day.
I didn't see the thread.
Yes.
His initial response that sought to distinguish between slavery and slave trade. Okay, where of course you get a sense that and of course with all that Uncle Chris Senior has said, really and truly, the United Nations itself having acknowledged, in the light of all the background of the alleged African participation and all that, to arrive at the conclusion that this is the grievous crime against humanity, should put to bed the argument about what role our forebears played in all this activity. But I like how he put it. Okay, context is always important, and the politicking that our friends in the NDC sought to play with this whole reparations thing, I guess that in the spirit of nationalism and the promised reset, I was of the view that we'll move away from, politicizing such important events in our national, discourse, and make it, truly worthy of a national celebration. Because indeed and in fact, if you look at the history, the background to all this, it started way before President Mahama became president. Like Kwesi said, the Caribbeans have been championing reparatory justice for decades. We in Africa, including civil society organizations, Kwesi himself, have been, advocating for reparatory justice for years.
In fact, he's written a book on that.
His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo is credited to be the one who, initiated the framework on which subsequently President Mahama was appointed as the AU champion.
Right.
And he did this for and on behalf of Ghana and the entire black race. It is worth celebrating. And I'll urge my friends in the NDC to take the politics out and not make it look as if this is some initiative that was dreamt of, conceived, and executed by one individual.
Right.
It's a collective thing that we all must celebrate as Africans. Senior has said a lot, and I agree with him entirely on the issue of the rationale for the Israeli abstention. I found it rather strange because, like he said, there are a hierarchy of crimes. Okay, even the mode of trial itself is suggestive of a clear recognition, and I said inherent in that is a clear recognition of the hierarchy of crimes. You have crimes that are tried summarily, okay, and you have crimes that are tried by indictment. You have crimes that are described as felony, which are more serious as opposed to crimes that are misdemeanors, okay, which are seen to be lesser crimes. And so I think that Africa has won, the world has won. We should celebrate the role that His Excellency the President played. Kudos to him, but give credit where credit is due. I was surprised that an important event like this, all the people who were invited to attend the welcome was his political appointees. Okay, I'm not so sure whether they extended an invitation to anybody else, including civil society, to welcome the president for the feat that he had chalked in leading Africa to attain this feat. Okay, there are things that we can play politics with, and there are things that are Ghanaian, okay, that are national, that we ought to, as much as possible, try to, let it have the national feel and outlook that it's supposed to have. That would be my comments on this for now.
If there are any payments of reparations, you should go to the direct victims as those who were captured and taken out of the continent. If there are to be any reparatory payments, those of us in Africa should not receive it. It is a fact that we participated massively in capturing and selling of the slaves. My view is that compensate Caribbeans, African Americans, and the others. There were efforts at historical accountability pointing to the former kingdom of Dahomey, present-day Benin, which has officially apologized for its role in the slave trade. If I were so much involved, then it's about time we also acknowledge our role honestly. A country like Benin, known as Dahomey, has officially apologized for its role. Okay, see, historical facts or historical inaccuracy?
Well, there appears to be some confusion between slavery and the transatlantic slave trade. True. There appears to be some confusion. And here is the confusion. You see, I am a Marxist, and therefore I see history as a science. The world is defined. You can take the world apart, and also reassemble the world into through the lenses of two sciences, dialectical materialism and historical materialism, and so on. The point I'm making simply is that if you study the evolution of human society, human society started as primitive communal. Okay, and that is why in secondary school, when we're being taught about societies in geography and so on, we're told about the hunter-gatherers society. Okay. That is the primitive communal society. Okay. But then it evolved, and then we came to the slave society, and then of course to the feudalist society. And the prediction is that from the feudalist society we went to the capitalist society, and we are likely and most likely to move on to socialist society and so on. So the point I'm saying is that the slave state was a socio-economic formation that every society in the world had to go through. European, Asian, African, Caribbean, whatever, had to go through that stage of development, the slave society. So every society, every people have had slavery at some point. Now slavery did not die under feudalism. Under feudalism, there were slaves. I mean, if you take the narrative about Western democracy, it talks about Western democracy starting in where? Greece, I suppose.
Yes, Greece.
And so on. Why? At the time that Western democracy was supposed to have started in Greece, were there not slaves? Did the slaves have votes? They didn't. That was a defect, and so on. So we should not confuse slavery, which is universal, to the transatlantic slave trade. That confusion exists. Okay. Now, besides that, we are told that we participated in it. We were beneficiaries of it. Show me what in Africa you can point to as a benefit from the transatlantic slave trade. That's nothing. Okay? Nothing. We are still immersed in the quagmire of poverty and underdevelopment. There's nothing here. All the benefits can be found in Western Europe. All the benefits can be found in America. How come that we participated in it equally, and yet we don't have any of the benefits? How come? Somebody must explain that. Okay. Besides, today, we talk about the return of artifacts. When we are talking about the return of artifacts, it includes the heads of African leaders. It includes the bodies of African leaders. Those heads, who did they belong to? Those heads belong to African heroes who resisted the transatlantic slave trade, who were captured and beheaded, and their heads were sent to Europe to be displayed. If I tell you. So those people who were beheaded and their heads were taken to Europe to be displayed in museums and so on, were they accomplices? They resisted it. Go back to the history of Yasantwa. The Yasantwa War. What was it about? And so on. You understand? So we have to have a correct reading of history. Yes, it is true that the European armies, which went into the hinterland to capture slaves and so on, leading to the death of more than 50 million people in Africa, had African assistants. There were some Africans who served as guides, some Africans who actually even served as soldiers. But they themselves were victims. They themselves were victims. They were not accomplices. Did they benefit from it? They didn't benefit from it. Okay? So this is the argument which has been sold to us in order to minimize guilt, the guilt of the perpetrators and so on. And then, my brother, Moro.
Yes, sir.
You and I went to Ghanaian schools.
Yes.
In fact, my brother Ejapa also went to Ghanaian schools.
Yes.
Right from day nursery, we are indoctrinated to accept our guilt. Okay? To the extent that in secondary school, we were writing exams and which asked us to discuss the positive sides of the slave trade.
Sure.
You were asked questions like, what were the positive and negative effects of colonialism and so on. So that is how we have grown up.
Yeah.
We've grown up completely confused. You understand? We've grown up with garbage in our heads, garbage which the colonialists, which the enslavers put in our heads.
Okay.
Nowhere in our history lessons did we learn that the whole of the Congo was the personal property of the King of Belgium. Did you learn that at school?
No.
You learned that after school?
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And that the King of Belgium transformed the whole of the Congo into his machine for extracting African wealth. and that every Congolese was required to supply a certain quantity of rubber. And if you supplied rubber which was below that quantity, your hand was amputated.
Okay.
How is the Congolese complicit in this?
Right.
You understand?
Okay.
And then there's some more confusion. The confusion that reparation is about the payment of monetary compensation.
Yeah, you said the record straight on that already. You
What?
said the record.
No amount of money can pay for the crimes which were committed against us.
I agree.
Reparation actually, in its full meaning, is resetting the world.
Yeah.
Resetting the world and its institutions.
Right.
You understand?
Okay.
Repairing the damage which was done in Berlin in 1884 when Otto von Bismarck invited his fellow leaders in Western Europe to divide Africa into their spheres of influence. There was no African at the table.
Right.
You understand?
Okay.
These are the things that reparation is about.
Okay.
Reparation is about the restoration of African spirituality.
All right.
Reparation is about the restoration of African dignity and so on.
All right. All right. So, Mr. Kwesi Echampong says that
she organized a whole day program for.
Yeah, no, it's something that Kwesi is really passionate about. But Mr. Kwesi Echampong, who is sending us this message from Nigeria, he says that, do you know that after the abolition of slavery in the slave trade in 1833, the UK paid former slave owners reparation, and their descendants kept receiving that reparation until 2015. The UK paid over £20 million in reparations. Please, why can't we ask for same? This one is an African matter, bro, so I don't mention the figures or something. Okay. I also do not agree with Uncle Kwesi's use of the phrase primitive communal society. It's a phrase that describes society as one, devoid of abilities and sophistication of the present time. The pre-colonial African society was communal. That was a way of life. Our laws, administration, and relationships were communal and not individualistic. This one here from Mark Kojoboafo from the United States of America. He says that, good morning, my brother. There are actually several vessels named Jesus that was involved in the slave trade. One notable example is the Jesus of Baleine, a French ship that operated in the 18th century. Records show it transported and enslaved people from Africa to the Americas. Some notorious slave vessels include the Zong, which is a ship infamous for the 1781 massacre where over 130 enslaved Africans were thrown overboard. There's also the Amistad, the Wanderer, and then the Klinstiana. It says Kwesi knows his facts very, very well. Mark from USA, and he continues to say, it's true, Africans participated but had no benefits. It's rather the Americans and the European countries that benefited. This is a time for the table to turn, so Africans can also benefit through the payment of reparations. This one here from, so Mr. Makesi, the former Minerals Commission's boss, he said I should say hello to you, but he says he has one request. He says he wants your watch.
It's a very cheap watch, you know.
But you didn't have to tell us whether it was cheap, it's cheap or expensive.
I'm showing you how to get it. By the roadside. The people who sell watches by the roadside. It's actually 220 so you can get one for yourself. 220 cedis.
You know, obviously it's a proper social. He's a commoner. He's a man of the people. So 220.
No. It's not the type of watch which defines you. You know. I like big watches.
Okay, all right.
You know, I don't go for expensive watches. I like them big.
Yes.
And by the roadside.
By the roadside.
Anywhere.
So, he says it's only 220 cedis. In fact, he can even show you where he bought it from. So you can go and buy it.
Or better still, he can buy one and give it to you as a gift.
If he would like a 200 cedi watch,
you can get some for him. Reverend Jones Latte says that he says that if you know anything about Germans, you will know that Otuado is not a pushover. Ask Honorable Kwesi, where did Ghana go when Jones said Tukwefi used 11 local boys against the Super Eagles? On a lighter note, Mr. Kwesi's practice says, once only Pan-African players to don the Ghana jersey. I suggest that CAF should rename the AFCO Pan-African Cup. The Arabs were also involved in slave trade. That's according to Mr. Jones.
Another problem.
Someone Brian Wabins has sent me this. He says that it is not Jesus Christ. It says Jesus of Lubick. He sends me some evidence of that, and that he said it's just Jesus, but it's Jesus of Lubick. But it's a Jesus there. I think that's what Mr. Kwesi Pratt is saying. But it says a prominent 16th century ship, the Jesus of Lubick, was used in the early Atlantic slave trade, chartered by Queen Elizabeth I to the merchant adventurer John Hawkins in 1563. It was involved in the trafficking of enslaved Africans to the Americas. The vessel is often cited in discussions of Britain's participation in slavery. Mr. James Azuma, this is a man who is a retired military officer. He's always wanted to get in touch with you. He watches the show every day. He says Mr. Kwesi Pratt has missed a point on the dismissal of Coach Otoado. Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire dismissed head coach Jean-Louis Gasset during the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations AFCON in January 2024. They went on to win gold. Otoado was a disaster. He said, let Mr. Pratt watch this and give me his comments. He's a retired army officer I think that one of these days you get in touch with you.
I've met him.
Oh, you met him?
I've met him.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. Mr. Dennis Carter says, good morning, Moro. To me, Ghana should take advantage of the victory at the UN to celebrate our 70th Independence Day with all the black community in Ghana, inviting all our brothers and sisters in the diaspora to come down to Ghana and celebrate, and it would also create business opportunities for the economy. Mr. E.D. Mokhtar from Adenta says, I have come to this emphatic conclusion that as at now, Ghana has no constructive position but has a very destructive position as the MPP. The MPP does not consider the fact that we have a nation to build. They feel, okay. This one is not kind of directly, connected, or it's not okay. So, all right. All right, Eben, I've also seen your message, and thank you very much for that as well. Mr. Martinez, he said you should bring your watch for a gold watch. But Mr. See, you have watch, and you want the 221. Hey, okay, no problem. He said you should bring for a gold watch. He has a gold watch for you.
I can leave the watch with you when I'm going.
Okay, I hear you, boss.
Yeah, no problem at all.
So, Segu Kwebu says the reparation resolution already... Okay, sorry, he says, how could Akufo-Addo be credited for the framework of the reparation resolution? Incredible. Have they read President Mohammed's 2015 and 2016 UN addresses, which set the tone? Many others before Akufo-Addo have raised the issue of slave trade at the UN and other fora. This one, Amazing Grace, was written in 1772 by John Newton, 1725 to 1807, an English Anglican clergyman and former slave trader who wrote the lyrics as a personal reflection on his conversion and redemption. The hymn was published in 1779 as part of the Olney hymns and was initially designed for a New Year's Day sermon in Olney in England. Justice Abeku Newton Ofair, kind regards to Kwesi. You know him?
Yeah, but this is a very important point.
Okay.
You understand?
Right.
Very, very important point.
Okay.
I mean, I go to church for weddings, outdoorings, and so on. And I've come to realize, Woja,
yeah, I'm listening.
If you go to church,
yes,
one of the songs that Ghanaian and African Christians sing with most passion is Amazing Grace.
Yes.
And when I'm in church and they are singing with so much passion, I'm just wondering whether they know what they are singing and its origins. This is a song which was written by a slave trader. And the rhythm of the song is actually captured from the rhythm of the movement of the slave ship.
Really? And we're happy singing the song.
And we're so happy singing it. Africans and Ghanaians.
Wow.
Amazing Grace is one of the most, it's a favorite song in the churches. Africans sing it. And I wonder, Isaac Newton, Abeku Newton, thank you very much.
Interesting.
Thank you so very much.
Okay.
Amazing Grace was written by a slave trader. The rhythm is the rhythm of the movement of the slave ship.
So fans and passionate fans of Amazing Grace, please stop singing it. We've just been told the genesis of that song. We are watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. Please don't go anywhere.
A few of our people, I don't know whether for attention or popularity, criticized the achievement and tried to belittle it. And they made all kinds of infantile arguments. They say, but Africans were involved. I mean, the crime was systematic. The ships that carried the slaves were insured by reputable insurance companies that are some of the richest in the world today and profited from the slave trade. The ship owners made money. Reparations, and listen to the important one. Reparations were paid to slave owners for letting the slaves go. When they abolished slave trade and said the slaves could go, they compensated the person who has enslaved somebody for loss of property. As recently as 2015, compensation was paid to people for losing their slaves. And you come and tell me that we recognize this as a grievous crime, and you say, oh, but Africans were involved. This was a whole system. They built ships, and they built the ships with measurements to make sure that the cargo can take the maximum amount of slaves. And you tell me that, you know, Africans were involved, so we shouldn't talk about reparations. You know, I don't know. I mean, some people just, you know, want to whittle down what happened. If you know what happened to the slaves, nothing compares to it in everything that has happened in this world, to the 15 million people who were sent away, those who died. I'll give you the case of one example. A ship captain threw 134 slaves overboard to go and claim insurance because the cargo, your ancestors were cargo. And so if the ship lost cargo, there was insurance that compensated for the loss of cargo. And 134 slaves, he threw them overboard and went and filed an insurance claim for loss of cargo. And you know, before now, the arguments have been fragmented. A few people have acknowledged. I know some of the leading corporates have come and apologized for their role in this, but the whole discussion has been fragmented. And so our purpose was to put it on record, the true story of the slave trade. If even to just let the spirit of our ancestors rest, I am happy that we went. I'm happy that we went to the General Assembly and it is recorded for eternity in the records that this happened. It will never be forgotten. Those who seek to erase their memory have failed. Their memory is in the records of the highest platform, global platform that we have. And so let's not trivialize it and
Start your Kids Day the right way, filled with confidence to take on any challenge. Pepsodent Kids contains the right amount of fluoride and sugar acid protection to care for their developing gums and teeth. Grab either orange or strawberry so they brush with the sweet flavor they love morning and evening. Pepsodent Kids, giving your children a bright smile for a brighter future.
Whether you're a wholesaler, retailer, or consumer, MNC Logistics and Trading is your trusted partner in minerals and food commodities trading. Experience the difference with MNC Logistics and Trading for your commodities trading. We operate a well-equipped laboratory that smelts and assays gold to ensure transparent, credible, and reliable minerals transactions. Our general food commodity market deals with imports and exports of food products such as rice, sugar, and grains. We pride ourselves on delivering products that meet the highest standards of quality and taste. With our expertise in international trading and logistics, we bridge customers far and wide. Locate us at number 4 Neosai Interfo Avenue, East Legon, Accra. Call us on 030-299-8246 or visit our website www.mnclogisticsandtrading.com. MNC Logistics and Trading, hub of confidence.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson, Asamo.
Me didn't tum. Mr. Friendly Calico, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Friendly once now.
Hey, that's on you.
Improve car.
Yeah.
Captain Mosquito, double the action. so quell. Yeah, go to my sasa.
Come tom preko.
Looking for comfort, convenience, and class all in one place? Welcome to Stay Easy Apartments on Conference Center, where modern living meets exceptional service. Whether you're staying for business or leisure, Stay Easy offers you a home away from home. Spacious and well-furnished apartments, pool, gym, and everything you need to relax and feel at ease. Planning a meeting, workshop, or special event? Our event grounds and state-of-the-art conference center is designed to host your events and bring your vision to life. From corporate gatherings to private functions, we provide the perfect space, supported by modern equipment and a professional team ready to assist you. At Stay Easy, your comfort and success are our priority. Book your stay or reserve your space today. Call us at 020-739-1473 or 0244-226367. Stay Easy Apartments and Conference Center. Stay easy with us.
When nations rise, it begins with bold conversations. When economies grow, it is driven by partnership. This April, Ghana's business and policy leaders converge at the Pro-Business Forum 2026, the nation's premier platform for investment, enterprise, and economic transformation. With special guest of honor, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, joining captains of industry, financial institutions, investors, and entrepreneurs.
The Pro-Business Forum is more than just an event. It is a call to action. And so let us work together to build a Ghana that is competitive, productive, and inclusive, and a Ghana that creates opportunities for all.
Come, let's engage in high-level dialogue, explore industry exhibitions, build powerful networks, and unlock real opportunities from finance and insurance to manufacturing, agribusiness, SMEs, and innovation. This is where it all happens. From the 3rd to the 5th of April 2026 at the Kwewu Convention Center in Praeso Hills. Go to www.kwewubusinessforum.com and register now. To register for exhibitions, call 059 555 5885 or 059 555 5995. Kwewu Business Forum. Connect, promote, grow.
Hey, Bunty, why you there? Wallahi, today you go give me my money.
Oh, my guy, what's up? Oba unze me din na dede bebrebe. Scano ASA. 500 cedis per. Ah.
I see. Level don't change. But to show me the way.
But there's some sorry Amanua. Talk to babe.
¿Quieres ganar dinero?
Huh?
Cash.
Yes, cash.
Let me show you the easy way to make money with One Shot.
Visit the Wanna Own website at wannaown.us. Sign up with your phone number and get ready to play. Select games on the homepage and then select One Shot Game. Deposit to make an entry, then pick a number from 0 to 99. If your number comes up, you win a cool 500 cedis.
Hey, so it'll be easy like that.
Just like that.
So I'll go buy my dream car.
Por supuesto. Just visit wannaown.us and win some cool cash prizes.
Baby.
Boom! Wanna own,
you be too much.
Play responsibly. Gaming can be addictive. Accredited and endorsed by the Gaming Commission of Ghana.
Christy Bro.
Miss Afi, Kibo, Bema East, and I am strong kukra. Jack, me and or Kibo Village, or Bommy Market, any more pay. Me and shit, I will call quite Papa Bia, what Kibo, 100% natural spices. I am so cool. Unia, you bet, Neasashi, Kibo Gary Mixer, any animal, Asamuma, Abribia, any debia, or East Imo, Kibo Village, any Metro TV Jollof Cook Festival, Eddie Adrian, no one life, or market anymore. You ready? You better know. You better as well feeling here. Kaise, Afi, you Kibo 100% natural spices. And Kibo Gary soakings. And you the best she is the Adjeni. A better life, Kibo Village, or Bobby Market anymore. Debiarada, any beer. Let's say every 2nd April to 6th April. Don't miss out. Kibo Village, keep the culture, leave the moment.
I encourage civil society organizations to actively engage with this legislative process, offer constructive input, and support public awareness when it is enacted. Moreover, I encourage you to collaborate with government to oversee public projects, monitor budget execution, and enhance social accountability mechanisms. Together, we can rebuild and strengthen public trust in our institutions. In this regard, I note the recent expose by the Fourth Estate on procurement processes related to the award of contracts under the Big Push program. While sole sourcing is legal under certain circumstances, under our current procurement law, would all agree that open, transparent tenders are always preferable for achieving competitive pricing and value for money. Although we've seen snippets of the investigation from the media, I've instructed my office to obtain the full detailed report from the Fourth Estate and to conduct a study of the various allegations presented in the report. We're also requesting the Ministry of Roads and Highways to present a detailed response to those allegations made therein in order to inform government's action on the matter. And it is precisely for such situations that I announced that government will introduce amendments to the Public Procurement Act to limit single sourcing in order to promote greater transparency and ensure proper value for the money we spend on projects. I've also requested the Minister of Finance to fast-track the setup of the Independent Value for Money Office, since the amendment to the procurement legislation will require that all single-source procurements be subject to rigorous value for money review. I remain of the conviction that single sourcing must be used as sparingly as possible and would consult with civil society on the new legislation we propose to use to restrict it as a method of procurement.
You're watching Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. I'm here with Mr. Kwesi Pratt Jr., who is the former managing editor of the Inside newspaper, and also Andrew Kofi Ejapa Mensah, who is a former MP and also a former deputy minister and a former minister as well. He's also a lawyer. Let me just do read two quick messages, and then I can bring them in on soul sourcing, which is our next topic for conversation. Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm says, good morning, my brother. Allah Almighty bless Uncle Kwesi Pratt for us. He has actually made my day this morning. He has demonstrated this morning that he's on top of the issues when it comes to our history. And I'm so proud to see that crime against humanity has been recognized by 123 countries that voted in support and only 3 against. But I'm sad to see that a minority in parliament has kicked against the move. My brother, kindly say a very good morning to my brother, Abdul Malik Kwekubaku. For me, we have really missed him. I wish him well. If Honorable Sam George is listening, I salute him this morning for the good work he's doing for the country and the NDC. I wish him well as well. That's Alhaji Hamza from Pig Farm. And also, Mr. James Azuma, I initially said you're a retired military officer. That was incorrect. You're actually a retired assistant commissioner of police. I thought I should make that correction. Thanks for drawing, yes, thanks for drawing my attention to that as well. And also, Mr. Justice Newton Ofair said I should tell you that, he says, it's amazing that myself and the trader bearer, the slave trader bear the same name. He says unfortunate. You would have wished you had a different name. But also a very important announcement and information for those of you who will be attending the coronation for the Omanhene of Nkranza. The coronation of the Omanhene of Nkranza. You were initially told that Sunday, which is the 5th of April, was supposed to be the dinner, gala, and fundraising. It's now been shifted to Saturday. Okay, so it's no more Sunday, it's now Saturday, which is the 4th of April. So please, please, please note this. It's no more Sunday. So don't wait Sunday. Don't wait till Sunday and go and say you're attending the dinner and dinner, gala, and fundraising nights for homecoming activities. It is rather Saturday. So please, 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 please bear that in mind. Yes. Yes, we do that in Ghana. Well, it's coronation, that's what they say. Outdooring and grand coronation of the Omanhene or the Omanhema. Yes, of the Nkranza traditional area. So that's a very, very important piece of information, announcement that I thought you should know. So the dinner is Saturday, not Sunday. Now,
would you allow me to make
a quick comment?
Announcement.
Okay, please do. Please
I've
go
never
ahead.
done it before.
Oh, no, please go ahead.
So
anything for you, Uncle.
Allow me.
Please go ahead.
You know we have a band.
Yes.
I'm part of the management of the Freedom Band.
Okay.
And today we are playing for the first time outside the Freedom Center.
Wow. Wow.
So we're playing at General's Lodge.
Okay.
Near the Malcolm at Ashoma. So
okay.
we're invited. Come. I mean, you would enjoy. The Freedom Band specializes in reggae and high life music. So Moro, come.
Yes, I will be there.
Join us today.
Yes, I'll be there.
You know, we start at 8
p.m.
8 p.m. The Freedom Band will be on the stand.
So 12.
About
11:30 thereabout. Wow.
11:30.
I realize you like live bands a lot.
Yeah.
And you're a good dancer too, you know. Yes.
Please don't go there.
Yes. All right. So President John Dramani Mahama has ordered an investigation into unmerited sole sourcing allegations in the award of road contracts by the Ministry of Roads and Highways. Yeah, so that's the announcement Talkwesi was talking about. The live band is moving out of the, what you say, the Socialist Center, right?
The Freedom Center.
Freedom Center.
We are going into the communities.
The
so
communities.
We're playing at General's Lodge.
General's Lodge, where?
Almost next door to Malcolm.
Okay. Great. So President John Dramani Mahama has ordered an investigation into unmerited sole sourcing allegations in the award of road contracts by the Ministry of Roads and Highways, led by Kwame Govins-Agbodza. Speaking at an event dubbed the Presidential Dialogue with Civil Society Organizations on Monday, the President indicated that full details of the investigation by the Fourth Estate, where the allegations were made, should be presented to his office. And I quote him, "I note the recent expose by the Fourth Estate on procurement processes related to the award of contracts under the Big Push program. While sole sourcing is legal under certain circumstances under current procurement law, we all agree that open, transparent tenders are always preferable for achieving competitive pricing and value for money. Although we've seen snippets, Andy, of the investigations from the media, I've instructed my office to obtain a full detailed report from the Fourth Estate and to conduct a study of the various allegations presented in the report. We're also requesting the Ministry of Roads and Highways to present a detailed response to those allegations made therein in order to inform the government's action on the matter." Andy, what do you make of this?
With respect to His Excellency the President, I don't think he should continue to take us for fools.
Why do you say that?
Because which